Ladies and gentlemen, there is a gift hidden in the earliest hours of the morning, a treasure few are willing to touch. At 4 o'clock, when the world still slumbers and silence spreads itself like a soft blanket across the earth, there waits an invitation for you. It calls you to rise, to claim your day before the noise of life crowds your spirit. It is in those sacred hours that your mind is unburdened, your heart is unhurried, and your soul is ready to receive direction. Rising at 4 a.m. is not simply about adjusting your clock. It is about shifting your destiny. It is the art of choosing discipline over delay, growth over comfort, and purpose over passivity. In the stillness of the dawn, you discover yourself. You are not rushing to catch up with the demands of others. You are leading yourself with intention. The world belongs to those who can master the silence of the morning, for in that silence they gather strength, wisdom, and clarity that carry them through the day. Imagine this while the rest of the world is dreaming. You are awake, already walking toward your vision. You are writing your thoughts before the day steals them. You are feeding your mind with words that uplift, moving your body to awaken strength and whispering prayers that align your spirit with greatness. The one who rises early is the one who commands the rhythm of life. Yes, at first it is hard. Your body will resist, your mind will argue, your comfort will plead with you to stay. But each time you rise before the sun, you prove to yourself that your will is stronger than your weakness. Discipline becomes your companion, and soon discipline will introduce you to freedom. Freedom from wasted time, freedom from the weight of procrastination, freedom from the dull ache of an unlived life. The morning is not just an hour on the clock, it is a symbol of beginning again. To wake at 4 a.m. is to declare, I am alive, I am present, I am ready. It is to step into a space where you can shape your future before the world lays its burdens upon you. It is to walk with purpose while others are still asleep in passivity. So rise, beloved one, rise before the world expects anything from you. Rise before your doubts find their voice. Rise while silence still reigns and write your name upon the day. If you will master the morning, you will master your life. And if you dare to claim the 4 a.m. hour, you will not only change your days, you will transform your destiny. To master the dawn is to step into the sacred silence of the morning, when the sky still wears its cloak of darkness and the stars give their final farewell. It is to honor the hour before the noise of the world stirs, before voices rise, before demands are placed upon your shoulders. It is in that quiet sanctuary, when most of the earth is still resting, that you discover what it means to live with intention. When you rise at 4 o'clock, you are not merely waking from sleep. You are awakening to yourself. You are entering into a covenant with your spirit that says, I will not wait for life to happen to me. I will step forward and shape it. The dawn is a place where you take command, where you hold the reins of your own destiny before the sun spreads its light upon the horizon. To master the dawn is to step into your day as the sculptor of its form, not the victim of its weight. The world is filled with distractions, ringing phones, restless conversations, endless responsibilities. By the time the day fully begins, much of your energy is already pulled in 1,000 directions. But in the early hour, in that rare pocket of stillness, you are given the gift of focus. There are no interruptions, no tugging demands, no noise but the rhythm of your own breath. That is when you can hear the whispers of your soul, the quiet guidance that so often gets drowned out by the clamor of the world. It is in the early morning that you find clarity, a clarity that cannot be borrowed and cannot be faked. It belongs to you alone. In that space, your mind sharpens, your thoughts organize themselves, and your vision becomes clearer. When you master the dawn, you gather strength before you step onto the battlefield of the day. You armor yourself not with hurry or chaos, but with stillness, intention, and wisdom. Yet let it be known, mastering the dawn is not for the faint of heart. The bed will call to you. The warmth of comfort will plead with you. Your body will whisper, stay just a little longer. But each time you rise against that pull, you declare your strength. Each time you step into the cool air of the morning and stretch your arms wide to greet the silence, You remind yourself that greatness is not found in ease, but in discipline. You prove that you are willing to step beyond comfort to reach for purpose. Discipline, when practiced daily, becomes a friend. And that friend opens doors you never imagined. Rising early disciplines not only your body, but also your spirit. It tells your mind to be alert, your heart to be ready, and your soul to remain steady. And what does discipline return to you? It returns freedom, freedom from wasted hours, freedom from regret, freedom from the dull ache of mediocrity. When you take charge of your morning, you take charge of your life. There is also a beauty in those hours that cannot be explained until it is experienced. The silence holds a kind of holiness. The air feels lighter, the thoughts run deeper, and the world seems to pause just for you. The early morning is not rushed. It does not demand, it offers. It offers you the chance to pray before the day becomes heavy, to meditate before your thoughts scatter, to write before your creativity is clouded, to move your body before fatigue sets in. It offers you a chance to begin not with chaos, but with clarity. And what a gift it is to begin with clarity. The way you start your day dictates how you carry it, and how you carry your day shapes the life you build. Those who rise late often find themselves chasing the clock, running behind, stumbling into urgency without preparation. But those who master the dawn walk ahead of time. They move with the steady confidence of one who has already prepared, already prayed, already aligned themselves with what matters most. When you master the dawn, you also master perspective. You begin to see that life is not something that happens by accident. It is something you craft hour by hour, choice by choice. And your choice to rise early becomes the foundation of all other choices. It becomes the rhythm that leads you to live intentionally, to walk with purpose, to dream boldly, and to work faithfully toward those dreams. So do not be afraid of the dawn. Do not think of it as a burden. Think of it as a gift, a quiet place that belongs only to you, where the world cannot reach, where doubt cannot shout, and where your destiny becomes clear. The dawn is not merely a time on the clock. It is a symbol of newness, of beginning again, of stepping into life with courage. To master the dawn is to say, I will not wait for the world to dictate my steps. I will begin before it begins. I will lead before I am led, rise while others rest. Step into the quiet and claim your hour. Stretch out your arms and breathe in the stillness. Write your vision. Strengthen your body. Feed your soul. For those who master the dawn are not bound by the limits of yesterday, nor by the distractions of today. They rise with clarity, walk with discipline, and live with purpose. And when you master the dawn, you will not only change your mornings, you will change the whole direction of your life. Clarity of mind is one of the greatest treasures a human being can possess. Yet it is also one of the most easily lost. For the world is filled with noise that clouds judgment, confuses direction, and scatters thought. From the moment the sun rises, distractions rush in like an uninvited storm. Messages demand response, voices call for attention. Responsibilities stack themselves like stones upon the heart. And before the day has even properly begun, the mind is tangled, restless, and weary. But there is an hour before the world awakens, a quiet place untouched by noise, where the mind can breathe freely. To wake at 4 o'clock is to enter that sanctuary. It is to claim a time when thoughts are not yet burdened, when dreams still linger gently on the edges of your spirit, when silence offers itself like a canvas for you to paint upon. In that stillness, the mind sharpens, the fog lifts, and you are able to see what was hidden. Clarity does not come by accident. It is cultivated, it is chosen, it is pursued. And in those early hours, when the body is rested and the spirit is quiet, clarity rises like the morning sun. It illuminates what was once dark, it orders what was once chaotic, and it reminds you of what is essential. When you begin your day with a clear mind, you walk into life with a sense of direction that no circumstance can easily shake. Think of the way water looks when it is stirred. The mud rises, the particles swirl, and the surface becomes clouded. But when the water is left to rest, the impurities settle, and the surface becomes clear once more. The mind is much the same. If you rush from sleep straight into the noise of the world, Your thoughts are stirred and scattered before they have time to settle. But if you rise early, if you sit with yourself in silence, if you breathe deeply and let your spirit settle, clarity will come. The mud of worry sinks, the dust of confusion falls away, and your vision becomes still and true. It is in this clarity that decisions are born. The most powerful choices in life are not made when the mind is cluttered, but when it is calm. In the early morning, you can ask yourself, what matters most today? Who must I become to honor this day? What must I release so I can rise higher? These questions asked in stillness open doors of understanding that noise will always keep shut. The mind is a garden and clarity is the bloom. If you do not tend to your thoughts, weeds of doubt and fear will grow unchecked. But when you give space for reflection, when you water your mind with truth and light, when you pull away from the noise to sit in silence, clarity grows strong. And with clarity comes power, the power to know what to do, where to go, and how to live. There is a reason the great thinkers, the visionaries, and the dreamers valued the early hours. It was not simply because they wanted more time, but because they understood the strength of a clear mind. They knew that once the day begins, once voices rise and demands increase, the chance for clarity diminishes. They guarded those hours because they knew the direction of a day, and often the direction of a life, is decided in the clarity of thought that comes before the world intrudes. But let it be said, clarity is not only for the grand and mighty. It is not reserved for philosophers or poets. It belongs to every soul who is willing to rise and claim it. It belongs to the mother who wakes early to breathe and pray before her children stir. It belongs to the student who rises before dawn to prepare his mind for learning. It belongs to the worker who seeks wisdom before the labor begins. Clarity is a gift for all, but only received by those who are willing to seek it. And what is the reward of clarity? Peace, confidence, direction. When you see clearly, you are no longer tossed by the winds of opinion. You are no longer paralyzed by indecision. You walk steadily because you know where you are going. Even when storms come, clarity gives you an anchor. You may bend, but you will not break, for you have already grounded yourself in the stillness of the morning. Clarity of mind is not about knowing all answers. It is about seeing the next step with enough courage to take it. It is about stripping away the unnecessary so the necessary can shine. It is about finding within yourself the strength to live deliberately, to choose with wisdom, and to move with purpose. So rise while the world is quiet. Sit in the silence. Breathe in the calm of the dawn. Write your thoughts, speak your prayers, stretch your body, feed your spirit. Allow the fog of confusion to lift before the demands of life settle in. For when you start your day with clarity, you carry that clarity into every decision, every conversation, every action. Do not underestimate the power of a clear mind. It can change the way you see yourself, the way you see others, the way you see the path before you. And if you guard it, if you nurture it, if you give it space to flourish in the early morning hours, clarity will guide you not only through your days, but through your life. Discipline is often misunderstood. Many see it as a burden, a chain, a strict master that steals away joy and comfort. Yet in truth, discipline is not a prison. It is the key that unlocks the door to freedom. It is not the enemy of joy. It is the foundation upon which joy can stand strong and lasting. Discipline is not punishment. It is protection, guidance, and structure that allows the soul to grow in strength and dignity, to rise early, to control your habits, to choose what is difficult over what is easy. May seem harsh at first. The body resists, the mind rebels, the heart whispers for comfort. But with each act of discipline, you build a strength that cannot be taken from you. Each small decision to honor your commitment rather than your craving becomes a stone laid in the path of freedom. Consider the life without discipline. It drifts. It bends to every impulse. It is enslaved by mood, by distraction, by desire. Without discipline, a person is not free. They are held captive by their own weakness. They say yes when they should say no. They delay when they should act. They crumble when they should stand. That is not freedom. It is bondage disguised as ease. The truth is simple. Without discipline, life is ruled by chaos, and chaos never liberates. It always imprisons. Discipline, though, is a teacher. It teaches patience. It teaches endurance. It teaches focus. It may feel sharp in its lessons, but its reward is sweet. Think of the artist who disciplines his hand daily in time. He creates beauty that others can only marvel at. Think of the athlete who disciplines her body. She runs with strength while others tire. Think of the student who disciplines his mind. He walks with wisdom while others stumble in confusion. Discipline creates freedom because it gives you mastery over your thoughts, your actions, your life. At first, the practice of discipline feels heavy. The alarm rings at 4 in the morning, and the bed feels softer than any promised discipline might bring. The choice to rise feels like a sacrifice too great to bear. But discipline is faithful, and with time it transforms. What was once a struggle becomes a rhythm. What was once resistance becomes readiness. In the beginning, discipline is a burden. In the end, it is a blessing. And that blessing is freedom. Freedom to choose without being enslaved by impulse. Freedom to act without hesitation. Freedom to live with direction instead of drifting aimlessly. Discipline frees you from the regret of wasted time, from the pain of unfulfilled potential, from the weight of dreams abandoned. It gives you the liberty to step fully into the life you were created to live. Imagine a river without banks. The water spreads thin, shallow, and directionless. But with firm banks, the river flows strong, deep, and purposeful. Discipline is the banks of your life. It does not restrict your flow, it strengthens it. It gathers your energy so that you can move with force toward your destiny. Without discipline, you are scattered. With discipline, you are unstoppable. To live with discipline is not to deny yourself joy, but to position yourself for joy that lasts. The one who disciplines their spending does not live in fear of debt. The one who disciplines their tongue does not live in regret of words spoken in haste. The one who disciplines their time does not live in sorrow over opportunities lost. Discipline preserves, protects, and prepares you for the fullness of life. Freedom is not doing whatever you want whenever you want. That is not freedom, it is recklessness, and it often leads to chains. True freedom is the ability to walk in purpose, to stand in strength, to live in peace. And that freedom is born from discipline. The road may be narrow, the steps may be steep, but at the end of that road is a life that is not bound by regret or weakness. So when you rise at 4 in the morning, know that you are not simply keeping time, you are practicing freedom. Every morning that you choose discipline, you are choosing liberty. Each moment you master your will, you are loosening the grip of every chain that sought to hold you. Discipline demands effort, but its reward is a life unshaken. And the truth is this: no one can give you discipline, and no one can take it from you. It is the gift you give yourself, the choice you make daily, the commitment you honor even when no one is watching. Discipline is quiet, but its results speak loudly. It builds silently, but its fruits cannot be hidden. It may not feel glorious in the moment, but in time it produces a harvest of freedom that cannot be denied. So do not despise discipline. Do not see it as a prison guard standing over you. See it as a guide leading you out of captivity. See it as a friend who demands the best from you because it knows the best is in you. See it as the bridge between who you are and who you were meant to be. Discipline creates freedom, and those who embrace it will walk not in chains, but in victory. Rise then with discipline. Walk with discipline. Live with discipline. And you will discover that the very thing you thought would confine you is the thing that sets you free. For it is discipline that lifts you out of weakness, discipline that sharpens your will, and discipline that unlocks the door to the life you long to live. There is a quiet power in beginning before the world awakens. To rise when others still sleep is to claim an advantage that cannot be measured only in hours, but in spirit. It is to place yourself ahead, not only in time, but in clarity, intention, and strength. While the world lingers in dreams, you are already walking in purpose. While others drift, you are moving. While others delay, you are building. That is what it means to have a head start on the world. Too often, people stumble into their days as though life owes them time. They wake late, rush through their hours, and spend the day chasing what could have been theirs if only they had begun earlier. They run behind the demands of the world, instead of leading their day with direction. But to rise at 4 in the morning is to choose differently. It is to say, I will not follow the pace of the world. I will set my own rhythm. I will begin before I am summoned. When you give yourself this head start, you step into the day already armed with clarity and strength. You have prayed before the noise, reflected before the rush, created before the distractions, and prepared before the demands. By the time the world catches up, you are already grounded, already steady, already ready. And this readiness is not small. It is the difference between living in reaction and living in authority. Imagine a runner on the track. If one begins even a few seconds earlier than the rest, that advantage grows with every step. The head start is not just about the first moment. It is about how it multiplies across the distance. Rising early works the same way. The extra time at the start of the day compounds throughout the hours. You are not scrambling to catch up, you are walking steadily ahead. You think with calm while others rush with confusion. You act with purpose while others stumble through delay. That difference, though born in a single hour, grows into a life of distinction. The head start is not only about doing more, but about becoming more. It is about strengthening your mind while it is fresh, nourishing your spirit before it is drained, and caring for your body before fatigue sets in. It is about investing in yourself before the world makes its withdrawals. The one who rises early understands that the morning is not to be wasted, it is to be honored. Those who honor the morning are given the gift of strength to carry through the rest of the day. And let us not pretend it is easy. The temptation to remain in bed is real. The lure of comfort is strong. But those who dare to rise, who choose discipline over slumber, are rewarded with an advantage the comfortable will never know. They walk into their day not hurried, but steady. They are not slaves to the clock, they master it. They are not behind, they are ahead. There is also a beauty in beginning while the world is still silent. In those early hours, you can hear yourself more clearly. You can plan with a sharper vision, dream with fewer interruptions, and prepare with a calm heart. You are able to give your best attention to what matters most, to your growth, your goals, your purpose. By the time the world awakes and begins its noise, you are already standing on a foundation of strength that cannot be shaken. This head start is not about pride or competition with others. It is not about proving superiority. It is about honoring the gift of time. It is about realizing that while life gives each of us the same 24 hours, it is the one who begins early who multiplies those hours into opportunities. It is about seizing what others let slip away. To live always in the middle of the crowd is to live at the mercy of its pace. But to rise early, to claim the head start, is to walk with the dignity of one who has prepared. You are no longer rushed, no longer late, no longer reactive. You live above the noise instead of being consumed by it. And in this space, your mind sharpens, your spirit strengthens, and your life takes on a rhythm of power. Think of the farmer who plants before the season begins. When harvest time comes, his fields are already full while others are still sowing. Think of the traveler who begins his journey at dawn. By noon, he is halfway to his destination while others are only gathering their bags. In the same way, the one who rises early carries a harvest of achievement while others are still making excuses. The head start you claim each morning is not only for the day, but for your life. It builds a character of readiness, a spirit of discipline, a habit of victory. It teaches you that you are not bound to the pace of the world, but can set your own pace, one that leads you further than you thought you could go. Each morning compounds into weeks, into months, into years. And suddenly you look back and realize that what you built in those early hours has shaped the destiny of your life. So rise before the world stirs. Step into the silence and begin. Let others sleep while you are already moving. Let others hesitate while you are already deciding. Let others dream while you are already building. The head start belongs to those who dare to claim it, and those who claim it will walk through life not behind, but ahead, not stumbling in confusion, but moving with purpose. To rise early is to give yourself the gift of a life that leads, a life that commands, a life that honors every hour as sacred. There is a sacredness in the early morning that cannot be duplicated at any other hour. When the world still rests, when the streets are quiet, when even the wind seems to hush its song, the morning belongs to you. It is not just time, it is holy ground. It is an altar where growth can take place without interruption, where you can stretch your mind, strengthen your body, and nourish your spirit before the demands of the world claim their share of you. To rise at 4 a.m. is to claim this sacred time for yourself. It is to step into a space where distractions have no voice, where worries have not yet awakened, where the clutter of the day has not yet arrived. In those hours, you are given the opportunity to focus on what truly matters, not what others expect of you, not what the world demands of you, but what your soul longs for. Growth cannot thrive in constant noise. It needs silence, it needs stillness, it needs time that is set apart. Growth is often unseen. It happens quietly, like roots beneath the soil. The tree that stands tall in the sunlight does not rise without hidden labor beneath the ground. In the same way, your growth takes place in unseen moments, in the choices you make when no one is watching, in the disciplines you keep when no one applauds, in the hours you invest before the world begins its chase. The sacred time of morning is where this hidden work is done. It is where you plant seeds of discipline, faith, knowledge, and strength, seeds that will bloom in due time for all to see. When you wake before dawn, you can give yourself to prayer, to reflection, to meditation. You can align your spirit with purpose, remind yourself of who you are, and strengthen your connection to the source that gives life meaning. You can lift your heart before the day tries to weigh it down. You can write the visions that stir in your soul before they are drowned out by the demands of others. You can breathe deeply and remind yourself that you are not here merely to exist, but to grow. Growth also requires feeding. Just as the body must be nourished to remain strong, so must the mind and spirit be fed with truth, wisdom, and inspiration. In the sacred hours of morning, you can read words that uplift, listen to teachings that guide, or study lessons that sharpen your understanding. Without this feeding, the mind weakens and the spirit grows faint. But when you devote the first part of your day to growth, you step into your hours with strength that carries you through. Even the body benefits from this time. Movement in the early morning awakens energy that lingers through the day. Exercise, no matter how simple, prepares you to meet life's demands with stamina. The body, the mind, and the spirit are all tied together. Growth in one strengthens the others. That is why the early hours are so sacred. They allow you to tend to all of yourself before the noise of the world pulls you apart. But let us be clear. This sacred time is not handed freely. It must be chosen. It is easy to stay beneath the blanket of comfort. Easy to believe that a few more minutes of sleep are more valuable than time spent on growth. Yet each time you choose comfort over purpose, you trade away the treasure of what those hours could give you. And the loss is not just for the day. It is for the future. For every moment you deny growth, you deny yourself the fruit it would have produced in seasons to come. Think of the gardener who tends his plants faithfully, watering them each morning. His work may seem small, even unnoticed, but in time his garden bursts with life. The one who neglects his plants will find only withering leaves. The same is true of your soul. When you use your mornings to grow, you are watering the seeds of your destiny. You may not see the results immediately, but in time the fruit will be undeniable. This sacred time also carries a message of respect. Respect for yourself, respect for your calling, respect for the life you have been given. By dedicating the first hours of your day to growth, you declare that your future is worth investing in, that your purpose is worth protecting, and that your life is too precious to waste on passivity. You honor the gift of time by using it to shape yourself into who you were created to be. And as you grow, you begin to see life differently. You no longer stumble blindly into your day, hoping for direction. You walk with intention because you have taken the time to align yourself with clarity. You no longer drown in the noise of others, because you have already grounded yourself in silence. You no longer move weakly through the hours, because you have already strengthened your spirit in the dawn. So rise while the world sleeps. Step into the stillness and claim your sacred time. Do not let it slip away unnoticed, for it is in those quiet hours that the greatest growth takes place. It is where you become stronger, wiser, steadier. It is where you prepare yourself not just for the day, but for the life ahead. Sacred time for growth is not a luxury. It is a necessity for anyone who desires to live with depth and purpose. The world may never see the hours you spend in silence, the prayers you whisper, the pages you write, the sweat you shed, the truths you learn. But the fruit of that hidden growth will show in every word you speak, every choice you make, every step you take. Growth that begins in silence will echo loudly in the life you live. And it all begins in those holy, quiet hours, when you rise before the world, when you choose to honor your time, and when you claim the sacred space that belongs only to you. The way you begin your day sets the tone for everything that follows. Each morning carries within it a rhythm, and that rhythm becomes the song of your life. If you rise in chaos, you carry chaos into the hours that wait for you. If you rise in fear, fear lingers in every choice you make. But if you rise in strength, in peace, in intention, you set a rhythm that beats with victory. The morning is not just the beginning of a day. It is the conductor's hand, raising the baton to guide the symphony of your life. Victory is not something stumbled upon by chance. It does not appear at random. Victory is cultivated, nurtured, built step by step, choice by choice. The rhythm you choose in the morning determines whether your day stumbles in confusion or strides in power. When you rise early, when you take command of your thoughts before the world invades them, you align yourself with a rhythm that carries you forward, steady and strong.